Good day. Methodist Dave here, professional theologian and Bible teacher with our daily devotional for Wednesday, March 11th. How did it get to be March 11th so quickly? I don't know. At the moment, we are enjoying extremely nice temperatures here. It was 84 degrees yesterday. 2 weeks ago, it was in the 20s and there was a foot of snow on the ground. Wow. 2 weeks? What a change. I can't enjoy this for too long, however. The temperature is going to drop back into the 30s next week, but I'm going to take this little taste of summer and enjoy that, and I hope it's nice wherever you're at watching from. We are at chapter 11, verse 5. The righteousness of the blameless will make their way smooth, but the wicked will fall through their own wickedness. Years ago, Martha Stewart was sent to prison. They were investigating her for some insider trading that she was accused of. Martha Stewart did not go to jail for insider trading. What Martha Stewart did was she lied to the investigators while they were investigating her, and she lied. That is why she went to jail, for lying to the investigators. They were making a point. They couldn't get her on the other charges, but they could get her on the lying. See, when you do sketchy stuff, you get in trouble. If you don't do sketchy stuff, you stand a good chance of not getting in trouble. I'm not going to say that you'll get away with anything or everything, or that nothing bad will ever happen to you, but when you're deliberately being sketchy, you get yourself in a lot of trouble. And on TikTok and YouTube, there's a lot of videos out there about sovereign citizens, people who don't believe that they need to comply with the laws, that laws don't apply to them. Usually that's people who've lost their driver's license or registration because of fines or things like that. So they get it in their head that they don't need documentation to drive or travel, as they like to call it. And when they get pulled over by the police, they don't cooperate. And generally what happens in a lot of these videos, and apparently they watch the other videos that say this is how you get away with it, but they never actually watch the videos that shows what happens when people try to get away with it. Usually it ends up with a window getting smashed, you being carried off to jail, and your car being towed. That's what happens when you try to violate the driving laws, the traffic laws. Now, I've been pulled over, I think less than 5 times in my life. I got pulled over for speeding once. I was speeding. I had been traveling home at night. I had a 74 LTD with a 400 plus cubic inch engine in it. It was a monster engine, and it was a nice heavy car, and you could be going 100 miles an hour and think you're just sitting there. It was such an easy ride. And I didn't realize I was going as fast as I was and got pulled over. And before the officer got to the car, my baby was in the car, pinched the baby's toe, made him cry. So the officer came up to a car with a crying baby. They don't like that. And he gave me a warning. I gave my documentation, never denied it, never argued with it, I say, hey, I just got off the turnpike. I've been going 65, and I was just used to going 65, and this car rides so nice I didn't realize how fast I was going, and I'm wrong. He let me off with a warning. I got pulled over once by a state trooper. I didn't know why he pulled me over. I shut the engine off, turned the cab light on, had the window down, sat there with my hands on the wheel. I didn't move around, had the flashers on. I did everything I could far off the road to make things easy and safe for him. And hey, did you realize your registration's expired? No, I didn't. Well, they don't have it tied to the inspection sticker in our state anymore. And they used to be at the same time, so you could always know when you needed to get your car registered. So you realize I could have your car towed for this. It's like, I understand that. I'm sorry. I just didn't realize it. And oh, you've been so cool. Well, I'm just going to give you a ticket. Okay. Took the ticket. I got pulled over once for, I had ordered vanity plates and hadn't put them on the vehicle yet. And, I've got a valid registration. I paid for the whole year. under my old tags. So I paid for the whole year. But apparently in New Jersey, they void your old tags. Your old tags are voided like they didn't exist. So he ran my tags and they weren't in the system. It's like, really? I was like, and I showed him I got a valid registration. I got an official state card. Well, what's that? It's like, well, I did do this. I got, these new vanity plates. I just haven't put them on. He says, that's probably what it is. I'm going to give you a lesser ticket. And I didn't argue. Now, on those two occasions, I was in the wrong. But I'm not trying to hide. And I have to suffer the consequences of the things that I've done. But one thing I didn't do was get my window smashed and got carried off to jail by arguing with the officer. If you try to be all right and straight, then life should go easier for you than if you try to live a sketchy life. Because when you live a sketchy life, you're just going to get yourself into trouble. You're going to make more trouble. I've seen people go to jail, spend a week in jail over a ticket that they could have paid, but they got to argue with the judge, and they got to fail to show up for court appearance, and they're gonna defy the law. I'm a man on the land. I'm a real man, not a corporate fiction, and you wind up making it harder on yourself. Be careful. Live yourself a blameless life. Do things honestly. It's going to go better for you. And when you make a mistake, admit it. Don't try to hide it. Don't try to fudge it. If you got a question about this or any other subject, drop me an email, methodistdave@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Until tomorrow, be good to each other.